that body fat is playing a role in how your hormones perform in your body. I think they call it weeping syndrome. It makes people very it tends to, the more body fat you carry, it tends to be more sensitive. So it's having an effect. Now, here's how I want you to think about this in context. Just because it's having an influence on that doesn't make it okay. Hey, Julia, doesn't make it okay to fall back on that. I'll try to reposition myself on this. It's important because psychological things are happening as you guys go through the academy. A lot. And you'll see it that you'll begin to nitpick on certain things as you go through different phases, because as we burn fat for fuel, think of it as peeling an onion away, and each layer has some different elements. Fat stores poisons, waste materials. Some say it stores drugs, like Valium that I took when I was 19, dislocated my knee. I mean, that's what they're saying. That be stored in fat. When you begin to free that up, that can create some interesting social dynamics. So I don't want you to think, number one, that you're crazy or there's something wrong with me. Yeah, something's wrong with you because you're going through a process where you're freeing up a lot of this, dead tissue. I mean, body fat over 20% is dead, just laying around tissue. And research is telling us now that actually it's creating an influence on how our body expresses hormones. It's pretty powerful, right? So I don't want you to use that for you people that are 25, 30% higher. Oh, my body fat is high, so this is why I have this craving. No, that's the wrong way to be looking at this, because now what you're doing is you're justifying your negative behavior, and that's unacceptable. Know that as an influence will preempt you and give you more vigor to check yourself, and that's what needs to happen. My job is to educate you on the reasons why, give you tools to circumvent the negative, and then get past that phase. And each time you go through a phase like that, it should get more and more easier to go through. But if you know a certain time of the month you're going to have issues, prepare yourself. Don't make it like it's, this is new. From the 5th to the 9th, you're kind of, crazyville. You have certain weird cravings or certain, idiosyncrasies. Then prepare yourself for them. I mean, you can't be any more forewarned than every month it's going to happen, right? So I want you to look at it, be more proactive with those things. Because as you get leaner and get healthier, those segments will become shorter in duration and less intense. When you resolve problems, think of it as a big puddle of water after it rains. It shrinks in from the periphery, the less deep, to the actual center. Where it's going is the center is where it's the deepest. And that's how that's a pretty accurate way of how problems get resolved. Hormones still influencing me even though I've had a history. Forget about that. Your brain will make hormones, but it's not just because you had those removed that your hormones, that fat is influencing your hormones being produced in your brain, in your thyroid, everywhere according to research. That's only one place that hormones are produced. Your brain will make every hormone that we need if it has to. That's how dynamic the body is. Well, research is saying that body fat above 25 and 30% and more is influencing those hormones, how they produce. So the faster someone can get leaner, the better. Reasonably speaking, and that's why the principles are designed they were on the academy. But you guys have to catch yourself when you're going through a situation that you throw in the towel. Because every time you throw in the towel, it's going to set you back 2-3 weeks. If you're over 40, it's going to set you back 4 or 5 weeks. So just understand, that's going to happen. And you have to realize that you're going to self-talk, well, I deserve it because blah, 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 blah. Or I feel bad because of blah, 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 blah. I'm not making light of your issues. I'm just saying it's in the scheme of things, it's not going to help you get where you need to be, and it's going to be something that you have to address. And you have to look at yourself reasonably and rationally, whether you're in the program 9 months or 9 hours, and say, okay, what are my goals? What am I committed to? What are my priorities? And what are not my priorities? And then wherever you gauge yourself, that's pretty much how your results are going to be. And that's okay. But don't have unrealistic expectations that you want your results here, but your efforts are down here. That's not fair. So that's what I mean about really taking a realistic look at yourself and say, okay, where am I, where do I want to go? Am I okay, if I have 100 pounds to go, am I okay losing, 4 or 5% body fat every 6, 7 months? Okay, that's fine. But don't whine and complain if it doesn't go faster, if that's all your energy you're putting into it, you see? That way you're just realistic. And you'll do much better. Okay, that should suffice that explanation. I think Tom said something about someone has eggs on there. Eggs are one of the only protein that benefits from heating, so they're fine. There is egg white protein. The biological value is up there. It's in the 90s, but I don't do well on egg protein. The powder, I can do cooked eggs well, but I don't do powdered eggs well. Don't ask me why. They should be fine, but I get bloated and gassy and I just feel uncomfortable, so I just remove that. You see? And I just move into things that make me feel comfortable and satiated, and that's just a process that you'll go through. And as you take your time and stay away from exotics and things that get you distracted, just do the basic things consistently and your life will get much more simpler. You'll have a lot more time to do other things than worrying about being exotic with all these different kind of things and gadgets, and that's not going to have any longevity to it. And this work, for some of you, this is going to save your life, but you have to apply it consistently. Listen to the term I'm going to use here, regardless of your situation. I mean, I'm going to be fine. I'll be gone for 8 days and staying in 3 different places, 1 or 2 nights at my parent-in-law's house. I'm shipping a box there with some whey in it, some other things. I'm shipping a box to the hotel. Hey, Spencer, I'm taking some things with me. So I want to enjoy my friends and family, but I also want to take care of my lean body mass requirements. I didn't get 9% to come back at 15. It's not what I'm trying to do. Do you understand? My goal is to keep refining my principles, reflect those in the academy, so it becomes easier, less work. We all want that, right? How can I get 9%, or how can I, you maybe think, how can I get body fat 25% with the less work? What can I do? Okay, lean body mass support, then you go up. You don't go from 1, 2, and then go, oh, let me get 15, because that's your old thinking again, coming back saying, oh, maybe I'll try this Met-Rex weight loss. Come on. If any of that stuff worked, there'd be no members in the academy because you guys will all have your health problems fixed. But it didn't work because it didn't meet the principles that we have to abide by. And that's what the Lean Body Academy does. So I think from my perspective, I base my live feeds to my gang based on what I'm seeing in the academy. And you'll start getting results and you want to do more. But when you start getting results, after 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you really can start seeing some things. Go back and reflect. Look at your lean body mass protein. You'll be surprised. You're getting away from it, or you're dropping 10, 15 grams a day. Trust me, I've done it. I thought it actually hit me when you said about what has an influence. But what's important here with that statement is knowing that and then still conducting your lifestyle in inappropriate ways isn't justification. That's important. That's like saying, I dealt with an attorney today. He's really rude, and I don't say that about a lot of people. He's just a rude guy. No one in my office likes him, and I don't like people not to be liked. It bothers me. Does that make sense? And the way he carries on with conversations, he's rude, and I'm like, you can't be rude like that with people. Well, I don't mean to be, but I've got this going on. I said, I get that you're having some issues, but I'm not going to allow you to justify your actions because of A, B, or C. Just like I'm not going to allow you guys to justify whatever's going on. Well, that's it doesn't work that way. Just be consistent with the basic knowledge that you have. Some of you have more than others. But what I don't want to see is people that are really smart do worse. If you want me to walk tall, you guys are a reflection of me and what I teach. Do you see? So any way that you need to look at this, Should both men and women get 9 grams per day? Well, I want you to get your point grams per day that you're comfortable with. That's why I start you at 3. At 3 is an easy piece of cake. Then you go to 5. Easy piece of cake. You go to 7. When I say easy piece of cake to do, I mean week, consistently, not 1 or 2 days. Because if you're skipping at 7, don't go to 9. Does that make sense? It's got to be consistent. Once you add that extra, 10, 12 grams a day, your body will begin to make some other changes. But it has to know that you're going to be doing that amount and not bouncing around. It doesn't like being bouncy. So for those of you that are hearing this conversation and you're getting some benefit from it, here's your next step. Put it into quiet action. No fanfare, no horns. Hey, Michelle, just a daily step forward. And when you know that things are going to derail you, you know that you're making a choice. I'm going to make a choice to go this route. Totally okay with that. But I'm not okay with coming back to me and saying, oh, blah, 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 my palm penis didn't move, and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't interest me. Because all that is supporting your ability to go blah, 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 blah. So there's a psychology behind consoling someone, and then them thinking that consolingness, well, geez, I'll mess up, and then people will hug me and say it's okay. Do you see how it can lead to someone to wanting that all the time? It's like, well, if I mess up, everyone in the group will just love me. We're going to love you, but hey, if you mess up, what are you doing? I can't make the parameters any broader. And this is for, the senior members that know a lot. It's a constant visual. Even with me, it's a constant visual. But it becomes habit. And I can't remember the last time I got any procedure done on me that wasn't needed. Like I had the manipulation of anesthesia. I got an MRI on my knee to check my meniscus, but they were all like voluntary. And I'm in my 50s. I don't know what it's like to run the emergency room with a bad headache or a cough or anything like that. Is it because of my lifestyle? Chiropractic care in my lifestyle, I said, is the main reason. Because again, I lost my father at 56, so if people look at their parents as a reflection of them, then I should be dead in 4 years. Do you see? So don't